Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we are taking a look at the Bullet SR4 women's jeans available at RevZilla.com. So Bullet is a brand that is new to us here at RevZilla. We saw them introduce their men's line of jeans earlier in the spring, and now they're bringing that same technology to women's riding jeans. So there's three different jeans that you can choose from. The SR4s that Helen is wearing on my left-hand side. This is gonna be a non-flex jean, which means there's no stretch material here. And the story behind the fit for this is gonna be a mid to high rise. It's gonna be a little bit looser in the thighs and the knees. So as you work your way down, a little bit more of a relaxed cut through the thighs, through the knees. And then when you get to the bottom of the jean, it is going to have a bit more of a flare, a little bit more of a boot cut than what we're seeing from the SR4 Flex or the SR6 jeans from Bullet for you lady riders out there. Now Helen, on my left-hand side, she stands at 5'6", weighs in at 135 pounds. She measured her belly button measurement at 31 inches, hips measure at 37.5 inches. Now, this is going to correlate into Bullet's size chart to put Helen into a European size 10. We've sized her down one full size from what the size chart recommends into a European size 8, and they fit her spot on. These are not American sizes, so I just want to stress that. You want to use Bullet's size chart, and you want to make sure you're correlating with the correct European size. Now, Helen also has three different lengths to choose from. There's a short, a regular, and a long. Short comes in at a 31-inch inseam, regular is a 33-inch inseam, and then the long version is a 35-inch inseam. Helen is wearing the regular versions right now. So if you're not familiar with Bullet, Bullet is a company that got their start developing a proprietary material that replaced Kevlar in astronaut suits going into space. So what the folks at Bullet did, and they're located over in England, is they said, how can we take this technology and how can we improve upon motorcycle riding gear? So the material they developed was Covec. And what Covec does is it gives you abrasion resistance that's going to be very similar to what you can expect from Kevlar, but it's going to have less of the downsides of Kevlar, and we'll break that down in one second. The SR4 jeans that Helen is wearing right now come in around the $150 price point. You could also consider bumping up to the SR6 jeans, and what that's going to give you is an elongated abrasion resistance, about 10% more coverage, and you get a full slip liner with that. So before we go any further, let's break down what Covec does. So Covec in the SR4 jeans gives you 5.2 seconds of abrasion resistance. Now, if you bump up to the SR6, it's going to bump up for an extra second, gives you around the 6.26 second abrasion resistance mark. It doesn't have quite the melting point that Kevlar does, but it doesn't have any of the downsides of Kevlar. So the problem with Kevlar is it deteriorates over time. And you put that into a riding jean, you're flexing your legs on a regular basis, you're walking around, and eventually Kevlar will wear out. Kevlar is also susceptible to detergent, so you don't want to wash it. You know, it'll protect you from a speeding bullet, but a little bit of Tide will break it down. Covec doesn't have that same problem. So there's a lot of attributes to Covec to keep you safe in the event of a crash that are going to be beneficial over some of the other materials that we're seeing out there in the market. Now, when we're taking a look at the SR4 jeans, we're going to see those inlays come in, and you can see the stitching right on the front. The Covec material is going to come in on the outside of the thigh, working its way over top, and then down the knee. There's also going to be pockets for knee armor. Now, at the $150 price point, knee armor is not included with these, but Bullet is going to have you covered with a knee armor pack you can purchase if you would like to add knee armor as well. You're going to see bar tack stitching as opposed to rivets done just to make sure you have extra reinforcements in any place where that material could rip. And then you're going to have triple safety stitching working its way down the seam. And to better show that, Helen, I'm going to go ahead and face sideways for me. So starting at the top and working your way down, you're going to see that safety stitching continue along the entire seam. So you're going to not have to worry about that ripping apart, because that's going to be one of the areas where you're sliding in the event of a crash. The other nice thing is here, there's no armor included, but there are pockets. So if you want to add impact armor to the hips, you do have that option available for you. As you work your way down, you have a really nice profile of how the jean fits from the side. You can see it is a little bit more relaxed, and you do have a little bit more of that pronounced boot fit as you work your way down to the bottom of the pants. So Helen, what I'm going to have you do now is I'm going to have you go ahead and face backwards for me. And we'll go ahead and we'll start at the top and work our way through. You can see that Covec material, you can see the stitching right along the base underneath the buttocks is going to work to show you where that Covec is located. The other thing that I really like is you've got 3 belt loop holsters at the top, and then you can run under the Bullet leather patch as well. The reason I like this is if you've ever ridden in the riding position where you're in more of that full tuck position, and you only have one belt loop there, it puts a lot of strain on that one belt loop and you feel like the belt is kind of pulling up. This just helps to disperse some of the energy, so if you are more of that full tuck, it just alleviates the pull that you're giving on the belt. As you take just a slow look down, you're not going to have any of that Covec material on the back. It's just going to be your regular denim material, and you can again see just the overall cut of the jean itself. Helen, I'm going to have you go ahead and face forward. So for you ladies out there that are looking for a riding jean, you want something with more of a mid to high rise, and you want something that's going to be a little bit more loose from the thighs on down, the SR4 is one to consider, and this new technology that we're seeing from Bullet is going to be a very effective way to keep you safe in the event of a crash without having to jump up into some full-on leather or polyester, nylon riding gear. It gives you more just that around town look. Now there's a lot of riders out there that are incorporating Bullet jeans onto their rides. And if you ladies want more information from fellow women out there already putting this stuff through its paces, click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which will allow you to read other rider reviews from women that are already using this gear on their motorcycles. If you'd like to talk to one of our lady gear geeks, give them a shout, 877-792-9455, or simply shoot us an email, cs@RevZilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this look at the Bullet SR4 women's riding jeans. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.